there's clearly a major difference in the understanding of what happened on that day between the U.S. military, particularly a couple of generals, and the National Guard. Like to the point where apparently two more first we had 2 days ago a former National Guard colonel who wrote something like 35-page memo detailing how and calling two of these generals, one of whom is Flynn's brother, unmitigated liars in the way that they have presented this stuff. There is now apparently an Army report that was obtained by Politico, and that's the way two more D.C. National Guard officials have taken a look at this. One of them is the sergeant at arms now in the House, this guy Walker, and his job is to do security for the area. And he's saying there's like made up stuff in this, like that involves me even, that involves Walker, not me. But we could be looking at just sort of like a CYA situation, which if, we have a CYA situation, we should really hold those people to account for what they're trying to cover, for their asses that they're trying to cover. But that's the best case scenario, right? Where it's like, these guys they may have just messed up and made the wrong decision, or they may have been influenced to make the wrong decision at that moment in terms of sending help. And you sort of get the sense that maybe we should know that because they're clearly lying about the situation that took place. And we should really understand why that is. And again, this is another one of the things like, it's reported in Politico, but if the leadership in the House and the Senate doesn't stop everything for this, there's no way to communicate to the American public that there's something wrong. It's not enough to go like, our democracy is in peril and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, we're going to try and, negotiate on this defense bill. We're going to join hands, and it's going to be a kumbaya moment for, an $800 billion defense bill. I mean, this is not a message that's being sent out. This is a mishmash.
Oh, it is. And, and like you said, Biden having this, democracy summit, it's like, that's just some kind of weird, performative, little Zoom call, basically, that is designed to say a bunch of stuff, but doesn't actually do anything. Now, look, I recognize the limits with the U.S. Senate. The 50-50 Senate is a disaster because of Joe Manchin and some other, quasi-Republican Democrats who are holding up things like, the John Lewis bill and things like that. I get it. But, that's part of the messaging as well that is going awry. There is power in the presidency. There's power in the party. There's power that, I don't see a lot of pressure on people like Joe Manchin on those issues and making it clear over and over again. I mean, if Trump can do it, he pressured, and granted, he didn't get everything he wanted either, but this is an existential threat that we're talking about. This isn't, this is like just saying, hey, we know that, the Soviet Union is about to launch nuclear weapons. It's 1964 and they're about to launch nuclear weapons, but hey, it'll be disturbing and we don't really know what to do, so we're just going to ignore it. You cannot do that. This is serious stuff. And I know that it's tempting to dismiss Donald Trump as a clown, and he is a clown, and the people around him are clowns. And we all laugh about it, and it's really funny, and late night comics make fun of him. But this thing is happening on a sort of a structural level now. This isn't
It's a clown show. The problem is we're in a clown show, and this guy is the king clown.
And he's king clown, and the whole system has become a clown show. And yet the system is really powerful, and it has the ability to actually you know, that, I mean, like, keep bringing up Barton Gellman's piece, but it's important because he sort of, you know, brought the whole thing into focus, which is that, you know, January 6th was a run through. And we're talking about the ability to do this again. And they're going to try some stuff again in 2022. They're trying these things out. I mean, Democrats know this. They're looking at it. They can see it. And yet it's just like they're, you know, this impotence is what's killing them, or at least perceived impotence, because as you pointed out, who's going to vote for this? I mean, you know, people are going to withdraw to their lives and go, "There's nothing I can do. We'll just have to ride this out, you know, see what happens." Because, you know, they, you know, work their asses off in 2018 and 2020, voting for people they didn't particularly love. And, you know, there was no real kind of, you know, activist passion in the sense that, wow, you know, we're really making progress here. It was purely just, we've got to stop Donald Trump, and I'll vote for Abigail Spanberger if that's what it takes to, you know, to get, you know, to get the House. You know, I mean, that was the way people were, or Joe Biden for that matter. You know, I'll vote for him. Okay, I didn't want him, but, you know, whatever, I'll do it. And you figure that was going to be the message from the people, from the base of the Democratic Party was, you know, look, you know, it wasn't just to stop him, it was to vanquish this movement, to end this assault on democracy. And suddenly it's completely stalled out, and it's very, very worrisome. I mean, you know, it's easy to be flippant about this, but I mean, I got to say, it is really worrisome to watch this. I mean, maybe I'm watching it too closely and it's giving me a distorted view of it, but I feel that we're just not in the fact that the Democratic Party is not taking this more seriously. I mean, even on the gerrymandering, Sam, they, you know, like in a place like Maryland, they could have cut out their one Republican district. They could have done it. They're not in that kind of, you know, they don't have a commission or whatever. They have one Republican district that's a Democratic state. The rest are Democrats. They could have gerrymandered him out. And they didn't. Why? Why would anyone do that? I mean, that's insane to me. And why can't they pull out the stops? The Republicans are doing it everywhere. Look at what's happening in Ohio. I mean, they're basically you know, Democrats are now, you know, in these little tiny, you know, droplets of districts around, and they're going to have less and less representation. Texas, you know, they gerrymandered out all the Latino and Black districts down there. And the Democrats just don't seem to have the stomach for this. And that is really, I mean, who's going to do it? It's not going to be the celestial beings. You know, there aren't any. They're not there. They're AWOL, or they're on Trump's side. I don't know.
Sorry, Virginia. Heather Parton, always a pleasure, and slightly very often a little bit depressing. Well, every now and then we have a better news, but this is, I mean, this is disturbing.